this piece right here, it's just good. This is the continuation of that fight scene, which actually goes on for multiple pages. His technique is better than mine, Musashi thought candidly. He had the same feeling of inferiority at Koyugayu Castle when he had been encircled by the 4 leading swordsmen of the Yagu school. It was always this way when he faced swordsmen of the orthodox schools, for his own technique was without form or reason, nothing more really than a do-or-die method. Staring at Dechinchero, he saw that the style was Yoshika Kempo had created and spent his life had both simplicity and complexity, was well ordered and systematic, and was not to be overcome by brute strength or spirit alone. Musashi was cautious about making any unnecessary movements. His primitive tactics refused to come into play. To an extent that surprised him. His arms rebelled against being extended. The best he could do was maintain a conservative defensive stance and wait. His eyes grew red, searching for an opening. He prayed to Hachiman for victory. And then they go through, and it's just dead silence. Snow accumulated on Musashi's hair. And then he kind of breaks him down mentally. Dechinchero's feet inched forward. At the tip of his sword, his willpower quivered toward the start of a movement. 2 lives expired with 2 strokes of a single sword. First, Musashi attacked to his rear. So a guy had snuck up behind him. Musashi kills that guy and then kills. It's just another another great battle scene.
And the eyes, they talk about the eyes quite a bit in this book. And I'll come back to Kendo, where you experience something that's very uncommon in Japanese culture, which is really intense, direct eye contact. Doesn't happen a whole lot in Japanese culture, even in the martial arts. In judo, it's more of a relaxed gaze, and you might come out first, and there's some yelling, so you'll hear that quite a bit. I don't know if non-Japanese do it, but in Japan, when I was watching certain people compete, or competing myself, and you hear people like, "Yasha!" They come out, and after they bow, they'll let out a bit of a scream. But then it's down to business. And in Kendo, you hear a lot more vocalization and really intense eye contact.
Are you trained to look at their eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So where do you look in wrestling?
In wrestling, and I should say, I mean, I was a decent high school wrestler, had a good competitive record, but I wouldn't consider myself anywhere like a D1 wrestler would just mop the floor with me. Right. But I would typically have kind of more of a soft, like hips type of.
I mean, I'm always looking at people's chest in every sport.
I'm looking kind of like navel and chest. I usually kind of watching the hips in wrestling.
Yeah. But in Kempo, they teach you to look at the eyes.
In Kendo.
Oh, sorry. In Kendo, they teach you to look at the eyes. Yeah. And are you looking for to see what they're going to do? That's where you're going to see their movement?
There isn't any explicit instruction in why, but you communicate a lot with your eyes. And so you can tell if someone's intimidated. You can tell if someone's angry. You can tell. You can also throw people off. So for instance, I mean, you have mendo, kote, and all this stuff. You have the targets, right? And what I realized pretty quickly is that much like in, say, Muay Thai, so in Thai kickboxing, one of the oldest tricks in the book, which is really, really unpleasant if you happen to get caught with it, is particularly since I'll just say I got caught with it when I went to Japan because I wanted to also cross-train in striking. And so I went to a number of schools, including a place called Seido Kai Kang. And Kang is it's at the end of like Kodo Kan, this Kan, whatever it is, that's sort of place of practice, right? And first time I sparred someone, and in the karate schools in Japan, like Kyokushin and so on, they don't have head contact with the fists, but it's bare-fisted. So you're punching each other in the chest and body and so on. And this guy was wailing on my legs. He was just like hitting me with these roundhouse kicks to the legs, and I'd never even seen leg kicks before. So I was punching him right in the chest, like just below his collarbone, right below his throat, and then punching him in the stomach, and he was kicking me in the legs. I was like, hey bro, like I'll do this all day long. And so I was punching in the chest, and I had to skip school the next day because I couldn't walk. But the trick in Muay Thai that you see a lot is like look at the leg, low kick, 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 until it really starts to hurt, and then look at the leg, head kick. And you see a lot of people get knocked out that way. So in kendo, you can do something very similar where you're sort of telegraphing deliberately with your eyes and going for a certain target. You get parried. You do that 4 or 5 times, and then you telegraph the same way and go for a different target. But yeah, the eye contact it's really intense. And if you watch kendo on, say, YouTube, and imagine what the eye contact is like, if their eyes are like wide open staring at each other, it adds another layer of flavor to the entire experience. And then you can read a passage like this and you're like, oh God, I can see it.
And it's opposite of jiu-jitsu, where you don't really look at the person.
Yeah.
It's almost like the little unwritten rule, like no eye contact.
Yeah. No gazing lovingly into someone's
In fact,
eyes when
I
you're in their
only
guard.
do it like purposefully when I'm trying to really mess with someone. I just look right at them and shake my head very subtly.
Yeah. And you probably notice that they never really look at you unless you do it super deliberately. Like if you try to roll with someone, when you roll with someone, try like notice where they're looking. It's almost like they're just blank.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
seen
I
that
try
before.
and be just blank.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing too. Is with jiu-jitsu, you don't even have to use your eyes. Like I used to notice, I don't notice it so much anymore. I used to notice if someone was in a good position on me, I would actually close my eyes. I started viewing it like I was wasn't smart. Like I was doing it to relax myself.
Yeah.
Someone gets in a good position, I just like close my eyes, because you know where they are. They're freaking on your back, or they're across the side. You know exactly where they are. But I would just close my eyes to kind of relax. I don't do it anymore because it seems like a bad idea, right? Why would you close your eyes? That's stupid.
It burns a lot of energy, though. I remember doing training with Laird Hamilton, who's one of the most famous big wave surfers of all time.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't seen the documentary Riding Giants, oh my God, go see that. Yeah. The invention of toe-in surfing. Holy God. And Laird is a beast. I mean, he's one of the most incredible physical specimens I've ever seen. He's in his 50s and just wipes the floor with like first round draft picks routinely in terms of workouts. And he likes to do a lot of underwater training with weights. Mm-hmm. And he's devised all of these original exercises. Like there's one called ammo boxes, where you hold a dumbbell. He holds a 50-pound dumbbell to his chest and then swims across the surface of the pool, or just slightly submerged with one arm, and then does all manner of different exercises. And his wife, Gabby Reese, who's also a world-class athlete of her own right, said to me, relax your eyes, because underwater, when I'm holding like 2 50-pound dumbbells, understandably my eyes are bugging out of my head. And she's like, you're burning too much energy. She's like, try relaxing your eyes. And I could hold my breath for another 10, 15 seconds just by relaxing my eyes. And just another side note that's related, and I think relates to a lot in this book also, not just jiu-jitsu, is in tango. I'm making it a point to bring up tango every time we talk publicly.
Yeah, sure. But not cool. Edit this part out.
The best female dancers very frequently close their eyes, because if they try to read the male's movement in order to respond, it's already too late. If they try to do it visually, it's too late. And I think that with a lot of martial arts, certainly, that in particular with grappling, I mean, your body is always going to sense it before your eyes can interpret it.
Maybe that's why I was doing it originally.
Yeah.
Much like the female tango dancer.
Sure. Yeah. So I remember Greg had a drill where you'd start back to back and say, okay, you got to close your eyes. It's kind of trust. You got to close your eyes and then grapple. And I remember doing it and think, oh, it's not that much harder. It's like, as long as you're already connected with the guy, it's not that much harder.
Yeah.